Now I bet I know what you're struggling with, and if you're like most players, whenever you make a swing, you tend to get a little steep, maybe stand up and lose your posture, and worst of all, get hands and arms through contact. You don't feel connected, you don't feel like it's very easy to make solid contact. Well, I'm going to give you a surefire way, one simple progression, using just your trail hand, your right hand, which if you're right-handed, that's what you're dominant with. So learning how to use this properly is really going to be a big key for you. And as we go through this, I'm going to show you how this right hand alone can help to get you in a better position where you open more, you stay more in your posture, you have more forward shaft lean, and most importantly, you stay really connected so that you're very consistent. So let's get these right hand drills down, and let's start hitting some amazing golf shots. All right, so I bet you've been told to tuck in your right elbow. This is something that pretty much everybody's heard, but as we make that downswing, we don't want to have that elbow kind of flying out to the side like this, and it's going to be starting to cast and tend to push the club like that if we have this elbow fly out. You want to get that elbow tucked in. Now, I like that. That's really what we're trying to do, but a better way of feeling this and a better way of staying connected is really getting the armpit in. So what I mean by this is, instead of trying to get that elbow in, the same motion that is taking this upper arm and pinching it against your right side or your pec. And when you do that, that should feel really tight. If I was to take an old glove, let me just grab an old wrinkly glove here. If I folded that up and put that under my armpit, I would feel like that is incredibly tight, like there's no way that that's going to fall out. And if I just make a little half backswing to here and focus on what I'm going to feel through contact, I'm going to feel like I'm smushing that glove as tight as I can. That connection is what's going to give me consistency through the hitting zone. If I'm having this arm kind of fly out away from my body, you'll see how that falls out. That's that kind of flip move, or that, you know, kind of almost like a right arm chicken wing. So the very first move as you start your downswing, you can be disconnected in the backswing. That's completely fine. But as I start my downswing, I'm going to pinch this in, I'm going to stay connected, and now it's really going to help me to get that very, very solid contact. It's going to get rid of the flip, it's going to help with a whole lot of other impact positions. Now, another common misconception is that we want our shoulders to be square at contact. Let me go over what I mean by this. So if my shoulders are square, I know I want my hips to be open, but if we feel like our shoulders are square, what's going to happen a lot of times is you're going to start to cast that club or throw that club. Now the reason for this is, if I'm swinging through this golf ball, let's imagine I'm hitting it this way, there's only two ways to keep this club moving forward toward the target. I can either rotate my body, and that can allow me to have my arms in this position to where my right side is bent, my elbows tucked in, and I still have forward lean, or my hands are in front of the golf ball here at contact. So if you're not connected, if you don't feel consistent through contact, it's a lot of times because the shoulders are stopping and the arms are having to throw to release those angles. Now, what I would rather you feel like is at contact, I want you to feel like you're almost open to the target. So your body's opening up, your hips and your shoulders are opening up. And then when you get in that right side bend position, that's going to put you in that great contact position like you're seeing with all the pros. That's why almost every single tour player you look at is going to look something very similar to this when they hit the golf ball. Now finally, you'll notice, or what I see when everybody does this, so a lot of players can get the arm tucked in, they can get the right side bend, they can get the body opening up. But here's what happens. As they open up the body, all of a sudden this club is a mile to the right. Look how open that face is there. So the big key is that as you open, you have to learn this move with the wrist. So the wrists have to turn down to square up that club face. When I do that, now I can open everything up. I can get in this great impact position, and my face is going to be square instead of pointing way out to the right. So if you try to do this before, but you end up with weak shots that flare out to the right, that's that missing piece. And there's a specific way, a very special way that you want to move your wrist to make this happen. I'm going to show this to you in what I call the tennis racket drill. It's a phenomenal drill, helps you square up the wrist right away, helps you really compress that ball to get it going straight so that you can open your body. You can stay connected with the upper body. You can get forward shaft lean and not hit those weak floaters to the right. So I'll play a preview of that video here in a second. All you need to do is go ahead and click on the card that you're going to see pop up somewhere in your screen. And if you don't see that card, Don't worry about it. Go ahead and go down to the description below, click the link there, and you'll be able to get instant access. I can't wait to show you the tennis racket drill in a kind of a secret way to square up those hands that just makes it super intuitive. Let's go and get started. Good player problems. We're going to talk about shallowing that club shaft out as we're starting down, as we're doing this rotating of the face that we worked on in the last video. As we start this downswing, what you'll see with basically all of the top players is instead of coming kind of over the top and letting the hands come out away from their body, letting the club come out away from their body, again coming down steep into the ball and then having to open up, kind of fillet open the face and add loft to it. The flattening of the shaft should happen as soon as we start down. So as we start this downswing, what we want to have happening here, you can imagine that if I draw a line from the hosel of my club up through my right elbow, that's my swing plane line, my elbow plane. As I go to the top of the swing, I'm going to be slightly above that. And then as I start down, I want my hands to start to shallow out. I want the club to shallow out inside of this elbow plane. And at the same time, I'm going to be